Loud and Proud started in Hampden. My brother and I were at the game, and a very small pipe band came marching around the pitch. I thought at that time, why don't we have a big marching band with brass and drums that plays Scottish or football related stuff? I sat down one day and started the charity called Loud and Proud, and I thought, right, I'm going to have a marching band that will go around stadiums in the whole of Britain. And I thought that was a good way of getting young people to play music in front of a big crowd that's already there. But that didn't happen. It kind of kicked off and we couldn't find the money. Nearly to the point of finishing it and thinking this hasn't worked. Very quickly we moved from being a marching band project to a School of Rock project. My name's Tommy McGrory. I'm the founder of Loud and Proud, a music charity in Paisley for young people. When I started this charity, I'd gone to Edinburgh for the weekend with my girlfriend at the time, and she said, when we get to Edinburgh, do me a favour and don't moan about your job. So I said, I'll be back in a minute, and I went out and I came back in. She said, oh, what were you using the phone for? I said, I've just phoned up the personnel department, I've chucked my job.
Springburn basically is just a mess. It's demolished, it's fallen down, it's just a sad place. I started working in Bellahouston Sports Centre and I became manager of Springburn Sports Centre. Trying to obviously get a club going in the sports side of things, and I thought I'll get some sort of table tennis club, but I never really sort of took off. I was having a walk round and I met a guy that was in the Boys Brigade with me a long time ago. And I said, what are you doing here? And he said, oh, I'm here with the BB band, you know. And I thought, BB band, ba, 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 you know. Silly wee bugles going up and down the street. I said, okay, I'll come and see your wee band, you know. And when his wee band turned out to be about 50 kids, all really smart in uniforms, and they didn't put on the usual BB bugle band display, they put on something different. Very entertaining, very big and brassy, you know. I thought, God, I really enjoyed it.
So I embarked on a kind of business plan to have a marching band that did field shows at, you know, big sporting events, a non-competitive, fun, entertaining show.
For the first year I went through a bad time of having a group of 10 or 12, working with them for 3 months and they'd all chuck it. And for a full year I thought, it's reaching the point, I'm going to chuck this, and it was a good idea anyway.
One day the phone went, and it was a father looking for guitar lessons for his son. And just as I was beginning to say, no, we don't do guitar lessons as a marching band, one of the instructors and guys that was with us at the time said, I'll teach him. So this wee guy turned up, our very first School of Rock student, for a guitar lesson, and it just snowballed from there. The problem is with Loud and Proud is every plan's in my head. So if I get run down by a bus, nobody knows what's going to happen tomorrow.
How are you feeling, Tommy?
Very nervous.
This must be the biggest audience your band's performed in front of just out here. How are they feeling?
That's the biggest audience they've had so far.
We had a summer School of Rock, and we got bands in and young people from Paisley, and it just happened. So I can't put my hand up and say this was a business plan, this was designed, but it happened nonetheless, and we responded to what was needed, and we ended up with a School of Rock. You know, the first year was mainly the marching bands thing. So we've been teaching pop and rock music for guitar-based bands for 20 years now. One of the biggest things that we've ever done in terms of shows is a story about the Glasgow Apollo. It was a musical called I Was There, and it told the story of a cinema in Glasgow called Green's Playhouse. And through the live performances, some young people have gone and became full-time, not just in music, performance. They've became light engineers, sound engineers, band managers, promoters. They're in the music industry and working full-time. That for me, no matter what it is, if it's somebody working full-time and they play a wedding band at the weekend, or they're travelling the world in a rock band, it doesn't matter. They're in full-time employment, and that's important, because the end game has got to be, as much as we want people to enjoy music and be able to play music for the rest of their life, but we really want to get as many young people a job in the music industry and be full-time employed. We were kindly given space in the building that we're in now by a local businessman called Gary Kerr.
So Tommy, what's this place?
Well, this is where the fire took place. So that side of the building was totally burnt out, and towards the back was burnt out, so all that plasterboard has been renewed. We've filled in the windows. 3 windows have been filled in now, and we're slowly trying to get this area back into operation again. And through Gary running LP Promotions, which is our fundraising arm of Loud and Proud, we managed to get the funds to start building a recording studio. And just as the recording studio was finished, COVID came, and in the middle of COVID, somebody set fire to the building and destroyed about 25-30% of it. And some kind of discussion went with Gary and the insurance company. I don't know how it went, but he was happy with what he got as a settlement fee, and he kindly gave us the building for free. So we've now got the building. It's free, but with it is a big clean-up, because a lot of it's burnt out. So today we've managed to get rid of all the burnt bits and pieces. We've cleaned it all up, and that's phase 1. With every wall in the place has been cleaned, washed, carpets chucked out. It's been taking us about a year to get to that point. So phase 1 was to make the place usable, which happened, and phase 2 was to start building rooms that we can teach in, and that just got completed last week. It's so heavy, I don't even know if I could pick it up. There you go. Right, what question are you going to ask me about this then? Right, this painting was painted by a very accomplished artist in Paisley, Caroline Gormley, who's a friend of mine. On the 10th anniversary of Loud and Proud at the Town Hall, when we had a gig there, I got presented to this on stage at the end of the night. She very cleverly went into my Facebook and took all my images of Loud and Proud, all the pictures of what we did for years. The problem I've got just now is it's so big, I don't know where to put it, so I need a big wall, and it will go somewhere. So if Caroline ever watches this, don't worry, Caroline, we're looking for a big wall, and it's going to be up there. The impact Loud and Proud has had on the town is immense, really. Way back we never thought of any impact in the town, any impact in our music scene. We just did this because, hey, isn't this fun? We teach guitars and bass and drums, and we put bands together and we stick them on a stage, and it's great fun, and it is, and it is great fun, and it was great fun in the beginning. And it does take a long time for things to manifest. You know, if you get a 10-year-old in playing guitar, nothing, you know, it's going to take 8 years or so, maybe they're 17, 18 before something happens. It doesn't happen with weeks and months, even years. It takes a long time. So it took us a long time to figure out actually what impact, what were we doing, what difference did it make. We're just a music school that teaches guitar and stuff, but we've produced a huge number of young people who are talented, who are still in the music industry full time, which is in itself is fantastic. We've got such a wide variety of students that's come through Loud and Proud. Some are pretty well to do, well supported. Some have came from some pretty troublesome backgrounds. There's maybe one in particular that I know that the father said to me one day, he said, look, can you bring him back into Loud and Proud? He's getting himself into trouble. And I said, well, what kind of trouble is it? He said, well, he was in a knife fight in the street and somebody was chasing him down the road with a sword. He came back and he joined the band and he practiced and he became part of what we did. And he kind of left that side of his life behind. I know he's not playing music anymore, but he's got a very good job. And I still meet that guy, and, you know, it's a sliding doors moment, I suppose, you know. Do you still hang about with the pals, drinking wine up the park, or do you come and play drums at Loud and Proud? And for him, he'll look back and think that was a life-changing moment. Maybe not for music, but certainly for his life.
Gutter. No way, that's
it.
That is it. What a shot.
Do you remember the day you actually put that sticker on there and all these wee stickers and said, that's going to be really cool, man? Are they still there?
No.
There you go.
Is it in tune?
It'll not be in tune. I think it's not been played since you
Perfect for you. Feel the stings, Cam. They're not even stings. It's cheese wire now. That's fantastic. There's something that it means a lot to me. He's like a kind of second dad to me. You know, Tommy was quite instrumental when I was younger, and just bringing me out to Paisley and kind of showing me, you know, when I got to Paisley, just kind of, you know, he kind of understood a bit about where I came from, that I was a bit of a tearaway, and you know what I mean.
I've had problems because I've got no musical background at all. I don't know what a crutch it is. I'm in a bar, a semi-quaver, I don't know what these are. But I try very hard.
I appreciate everything he did, you know, for all his. I think that's relentless is the word though. He just keeps going, he's still here.
Aye.
I mean,
Still here, still running a music school, still running a venue.
You know what I mean?
And a successful venue as well. That's the thing. The bungalow was. That was a. It kind of had its peaks and troughs, but it's now just constantly busy. Every time there's a gig on, it's sold out.
People say to me, it's okay for you, you're confident and you can do this. And I think you don't really know me at all, because, you know, I walk into a room and it's full of strangers. I don't know who they are. I feel nervous. And I really, really try hard to work on that, to speak to people, to not show that I'm nervous.
Thanks everyone for turning up, especially the bands and especially all the people who spent all their money. We'll see you again at the bungalow sometime, I hope. And thank you and good night.
I think what we do at Loud and Proud and what I do hasn't changed at all between 1980 marching band Springburn time to 2023 School of Rock time. It's different music, but it's the same thing. It's getting kids in a group setting, and they learn how to get on with each other. They've got the discipline to work for each other to get the final product on stage, or away back then on a field. It's just the same thing. So music is music. It doesn't matter whether you're playing a fiddle or a you know, electric guitar. It's kind of the same thing at the end of the day.
I got it all.
Aye. I just can't believe I wore that shirt. Like, what? Like, that was a school shirt, by the way. That wasn't like a over-fitting shirt. That's what I wore to school for some reason.
I think there's two things about that video and that performance, is that crazy jump off the stage bit was great. It was by my favourite band. I'll put this in record. My favourite band and my favourite song. And all of the Loud and Proud stuff that we've done, they were just great memories of these guys in that band being at that standard as well. You know, I think as I've said earlier that they should have been the next Green Day. I think how that was going to happen, I don't know, but they certainly were talented enough. They were great days. I think it was good for you because I remember you didn't like school. And you didn't like school at all. And one of the first songs he wrote, still my favourite song, is School's a Waste of Time. And school was a waste of time for you. You just didn't fit in. You didn't like it.
No.
You never went.
You know, you mean a lot to me as a guy. No, just through loud and proud. Because you know, when I was younger, I never had much of an outlet to speak to people, and I could speak to you, and that was kind of, you know, it was nice.
Yeah, I remember quite often you had troubles.
I knew this was going to come up.
And a bit of misbehaving from time to time, and maybe not understanding the parameters of how you get on with people quite often. And the threat of not being able to come to Loud and Proud was always a good one to have to get you to understand
always shut
things.
Me up right away, yeah.
Because I knew at the end of the day, I knew two things. One would never chuck you out anyway, but the threat of doing it would make you go, okay, I understand, I'll behave myself now. And it worked. And that only happened a few times, Raymond. It wasn't as if you were a troublesome student at all.
It's just, for me especially, like, it put such a big, it gave me such a learning curve. I wasn't just learning guitar, I was learning life skills. I was learning how to deal with people. I was learning how to go to gigs and deal with professional people. I was learning how to talk to people my age, my peers. I was learning how to speak to adults and go on with adults. I was learning how to, when the younger ones started coming in, I was learning how you treat younger kids and go in and show you a bit. And so didn't it, for me, it taught me there was a lot more than music. I got it, I got a bit of guidance and some direction and how I was supposed to be and who I was supposed to be and how you were supposed to act in certain situations. I think that was quite valuable for me.
Like, he would always give you an opportunity. Still does. Still will always hit you up first. Oh, I've got this gig. I've got this opportunity. Do you want to come into the studio? All that kind of stuff. So if say one of us couldn't do a gig, you'll do the exact same. You'll try and get someone for a gig. You'll always try and help other musicians that aren't maybe got the same contacts as we do now. Lucky enough, we've obviously met Jamie, we've met Ian, met so many people in Loud and Proud. But you'll always try and give back to folk that maybe don't have the connections, or maybe you think they need a gig, or they deserve something. You always try and give back to folk like that.
I think about it a lot, that, what would I, should have just stayed at the council, and because it was a good job, really, it was good money, and when I'm skint, I just think back and think every fourth Tuesday somebody was putting money in my bank account, and that was really nice. It doesn't happen anymore. And yeah, you doubt yourself all the time, but I don't doubt why we're doing it and the impact and all the outcomes that happens doing a thing like this.